the pecking order is still kind of up there for grabs.
Yeah, every week we compete, and I think that's what they understand. So, it's been a good week of practice, but the most important thing is getting to the game, and, based on your practice, that determines how many reps you get.
In a perfect world, would you like to see Deverin get a little bit more involved?
Yes, I really wanted to get him in coming into the first game, when I plan to get him in a little bit more. So we're going to make sure to do that. When you're going fast and all that, you got to make sure, that in certain series that he get in, because he can touch the ball and make some things happen for us.
Jay, the depth chart's out all preseason, and Marlon's kind of back in the pecking order. And all preseason, you said, he'll have something to say about this before it's over, and he comes out there, he leads the team in rushing. What did you kind of see with him that you knew that he would still have an impact on the pecking order?
Yeah, Marlon, he's been banged up a little, but, he had a really good week of practice. And that's the thing that, I try to tell these guys. You practice well, you're going to play like you practice, and he's done well. He had good pad leverage, he broke some tackles, he did some good things.
Talking about having a good week of practice. Does anybody really look good this week in practice? Are they all kind of about even since we're bragging now? Are they all kind of running about the same level so far in these couple of days?
They've all done well. They've worked hard, and some of the things we've been working on, they've been doing a good job of it. So, guys have been, all three of them been practicing pretty hard because they understand the situation.
Coach, talking to Rajon on Monday, he said one of the things that you were harping on in the film room and during the game was don't look for the big runs that they don't come when you look for it. Is that something that that is hard to get through to run it back to just take what's there and eventually when you pop one, you're going to pop one?
Sometimes it's just the way you see things. It's going to be small holes, and a lot of times you got to be careful of when you cut back. And we talked a lot about pressing to the line of scrimmage and doing all those things. So that's something that he's been getting better at. That's something he's got a lot of work on this week. So, we just got to take it from the film room to the practice field to the game.
And this could completely not be right, but it looked like in the second half you just kind of, the coaches sort of took some of the decision-making out of the back's hands and called plays that had to kind of go over the middle. Is that accurate? And does it look like Marlon and Rajon both popped off some nice ones?
Well, I don't think it was because of them as much as it was what we were given by the defense. And we always make halftime adjustments based on what we see.
And with Marlon in particular, just to see him come in and run physical and have some nice runs between the tackles, was that a huge sign of an encouraging deal?
It was good to see, but I saw it in practice. That's the thing I try to tell them. In practice, if you do those things right, you'll see them in the game.
And one thing we don't talk a lot about, it didn't look like there was any pass protection breakdowns. Was that accurate on film, and those guys do a good job?
It was good, but we got to continue in the film room and work on this is the correct technique, and this is how you got to do things. But as far as ID, it's really good.
Jay, Coach Dooley said going into the season, or he said after the film study of the NC State game anyway, that short yardage was a concern for him. Is that a concern for you going into it also? Was it not up to par going into the game? Were you worried about it?
It's always, no matter what. That's a very important down, and a lot of times they know you running it, and you got to go get that extra yard. So that's something we put an emphasis on. We've been working on it really hard, and a lot of it is driving guys off the ball, and to running backs driving their legs to finish running.
What was your message to the back specifically, kind of after the game in that way? Because for all the positive yardage plays and stuff, there was a lot of those kind of getting stuffed at the line in short yardage situations. And maybe it was on the line, maybe it was on them, or could have been anything. What was your message to the back?
Well, it's always on all of us. That's the most important thing we know. And it's just about being disciplined, hitting the line of scrimmage with speed. You'll run past a lot of guys that maybe defensive players won't see. So, that's something that we've really been working on, speed through the line of scrimmage and go past that.